And I think that hero is legitimately great at being a carry now because they buffed up Warpath like so many times in a row, and then they gave him an Aghanim Scepter, which allows him to get higher stacks of Warpath without having a target to actually goo. So you can actually just cast spells all the time and get 10 stacks of Warpath and be hitting for 500 damage a hit. So I think this hero is underrepresented in the carry role. And I feel like Wraith King is a great hero for Bristleback carry.
It's what they're comfortable with, at least I think for Jackie, which is the most important thing. The problem with Bristleback is that we can already see it in the rest of the picks that SMG are taking. They're working around having this Bristle as a carry. They have, I mean, Weaver's a standard 4, right? But it's a minus armor hero that's going to allow Bristleback to scale quickly, do more damage, take Roshan, so and so. Disruptor is just a complementary support that allows for more control, and like Centaur, because I think Centaur is a nice pick against Bristle because of the fact that he wants to goo you and chase you down, and Centaur allows you to stampede away. But Disruptor was going to bring those heroes back or keep them in kinetic field and make him just be able to deal as much damage as possible. Spirit Breaker, super fast tempo core. I mean, assuming it's a core here, unless they put Weaver on carry or something, or offlane instead. But
have done, but let's hope not.
Yeah, we don't know. Hopefully it's a Spirit Breaker offlane. That'd be really cool. And that, like, same thing. It's gonna rush in, stun people, make chaos, allow Bristleback to just stampede through behind him and do as much damage as possible. And you need heroes on Motivate.Trust that can deal with that type of playstyle.
Right.
Wraith King's okay. He might survive the initial jump with Disrupt Roll, but the problem is that Bristleback is a carry that does sustained damage. He doesn't burst you in one go like a Faceless Void. He is going to just keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and Wraith King having 2 lives, that is not a counter to that.
That does counter this a little bit, because Wind Ranger is more of that burst damage, but I'm assuming the Wraith King is not the objective, it's rather the Lina, which we actually saw this in the previous matchup. I think it's Yopaj playing it? I don't remember.
Yeah, Yopaj. I think so, because Yopaj is like the sickest Wind Ranger in Southeast Asia.
And they picked it against Alina as well, because the matchup in lane, we were like, it doesn't look too great.
But later on, he'd like BKBs and you just run through, right? Yeah, that's sweet.
And Motivate.Trust, they need a last pick, and it's a 5 or a 4, depending on what Snapfire is. Q does love that Snapfire, but honestly, maybe you need a 4 with a bit more team foot.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure what you could pick. Something that just... I would want some far range control, like some way to keep these heroes at bay without having to commit in, because as soon as you commit in, you just die instantly.
Lion was a great pick.
Yeah, even Trian is not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. He's kind of low damage though. They need a way. They need something good that helps him kill Bristlebacks. I'm kind of worried right now about their ability to kill him.
Hoodwink.
Hoodwink? Ooh.
Break mechanic is nice to be able to have. Is there any other supports that can give you that break mechanic?
Maybe they Wyvern and they just try and kite him. I would just like to see something with control. Something with either control or a way to kill Bristleback. Just something so that it's okay, Bristle, you can't do whatever you want. Because if Wraith King is allowed to ignore Bristleback and just kill the rest of his team, it's not, honestly, it's not the hardest thing. The supports at least should die very quickly to Motivate.Trust lineup. Wind Ranger 2, if she doesn't have a BKB, she should be controlled up. So yeah, I wouldn't mind it. That's great. That's so good. I forgot Shadow Demon existed. That's a classic.
Break mechanic and percentage-based damage. So those are both really, really good. And Purge works really well against Wind Ranger as well. Honestly, a very inspired pick. An off-meta hero that isn't seen a whole lot right now.
I think this might be the best, best possible pick.
That is the best Shadow Demon pick I've ever seen in my life, I think.
So hype for a support 5 pick.
I actually forgot that it was in the pool. That's just that is a hero that is so good against Bristle core, especially as a carry. If you're Bristle carry, you're just I don't want to play anymore, actually. I forgot about this one.
Literally the only downside is that you don't actually have that much value out of Disruption. The illusions, right?
Sure, that's true.
Yeah.
But everything else is so good about it.
You can gank mid, set up for a Lina stun as well on Shadow Demon. It's really free.
Yeah, for sure. It can set up the Lina. It has a nice save mechanic against Disruptor and Wind Ranger, who can really need that focus fire. I think it's very solid. I'm not super convinced, though. Maybe it's just because I'm a big fan of Bristleback carry.
I've seen Bristleback carry played in Shadow Demon before, and it wasn't pretty. But we'll see.
Okay. He also is going to be 5. I think he needs farm as the Shadow Demon.
They can
Yes.
do that. They can give him the lane while Jackie like farms jungle and stuff. I mean, he at least gets something. Yeah, I like Motivate.Trust lineup.
I'm going SMG.
Oh, our panel's divided. Will the
Mhm.
casting pair also be divided, or will they stand united in casting and giving us this wonderful entertainment? We're going to have to see. It's GoDz and lizZard once again.
Thank you, Avo. We're here ready for what promises to be a great series. lizZard, I don't know if we're going to divide it, but we're definitely going to be united in that I think this is going to be a treat to watch this series.
Yeah, and I'm still here waiting for my full series, waiting for all 3 games, so maybe this will be the one. There are some very signature heroes being picked up by both of these sides. Masaro's being, well, Masa, playing that Centaur. Well, he was in Fnatic, right? Or was he in T1? I believe
Masaros, yeah.
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 And he had this stint of like 10 games in which he only played Centaur. Like, this is literally the hero that he loves to play. He built it in a different way as well, with something like a hood blade mail too, so has a little bit of a different approach to the game. But overall, I like the Shadow Demon a lot, just like the panel liked it. And then it's really nice into the Wind Ranger as well. Like, we were talking about the break, that's nice versus Bristleback and Spirit Breaker, but versus Wind Ranger, the Purge is really damn neat. Like, you can always take off that Wind Run and control her.
Yeah. So, bit of a perhaps surprise pick, something to catch SMG by surprise. But you know, Cap still had a lot of faith in this SMG draft. What do you see when you, as far as what SMG? What's the strength that they're looking for with the heroes they picked?
Well, they are definitely in the meta. They're definitely really difficult to take down. Once you get a couple of big items on Spirit Breaker, this hero, it doesn't matter if you're a support or a core, you do. Oh!
Here we go. Moon was baiting. His teammates were just on the hill. They showed Moon, but the rest of the team were waiting in the wings. Massa gets a 3-man hoof stomp, and that's going to set first blood onto Raging Potato, and they're not done. They want mid one as well. Can they get it? Don't. Whoa, he turns around. What are you doing there? You gotta be careful. Lena's got an LSA. Mid one? Is he trying to die?
Mid one? Yeah, I think so.
I guess he wanted to die there. Interesting. Boombell is gonna go down himself in a 2-for-1 trade. I guess he just got so low and he didn't want to use his regen, so he just intentionally feeds.
Yeah, and he gets some items,
feeds,
right? Yeah, he gets some items from the base, so yeah, it's a strategical, I suppose. It's not something that you see very often that you like your carry to do. You know, like when you're position 5, you strategically feeds, sure, but perhaps not the best for a carry. Still though, he regens up, and that's important.
Yeah. He's got a free salve free base trip, so his full health when he comes to lane. And we'll see how his lane goes. It was the Lina who got the extra kill, so you're giving not first blood gold, but gold nonetheless the way of Gacha Boy, who is going to be having a good time mid against Moon, I have to imagine. But Moon himself also getting a kill there, so bit of a bloodbath to start game number 1 between these two teams.
Yeah, a pretty cool start. You don't really get this very often, so a treat to watch. Like just a full-on brawl, a nice bait, something reminiscing of Bulldog and Nature's Prophet in Roshan.
Yeah. We talked about it last game with the basically, you have a week to prepare, and Fnatic prepared that 5-man smoke gank to the safe lane. This feels similar where SMG planned this level 1 play where they show one hero on the low ground and the other 4 are waiting on the hill to kind of counterplay it.
And I just love how much effort they're putting into it, because like the way I'm seeing it, it doesn't give you that much of an advantage, right? Like in some situations, you'd even rather die, like Bristleback did. You'd rather die and just respawn and be full HP on the lane. And these moves usually just put you on a back foot, even if nothing else. So
the next level play would be Motivate.Trust not killing him. Like he just let him sit there on 1 health and you don't finish him off.
yeah, just don't kill people. I know. You know what's actually interesting? That was I kid you not, that was a play on the lanes just a year or 2 ago. Like you would on purpose not kill a hero so that he's just sitting there being useless, like a support, right? Like remember when supports were constantly feeding to the tier 2s, tier 1s at one point as well? Like you didn't want to kill them. Like if you kill them, they just bring all the items for themselves, they come back regioned up, plus they heal their carry. So you'd be happier if they're just standing behind scared.
We're in a bit of a different meta now. I mean, still the same thing. We're still seeing those supports occasionally throw away their lives at towers, but not quite the same way that it perhaps once was with the old like Skywrath Mage 4 position, use all your mana, then go suicide.
Yeah, right now it's more of a just a brawl until you die. That's how it feels like. If you're feeding, you don't really care about that kill way too much. You're just brawling until you die, and then you respawn and bring the self to your carry. And it's very important in a lot of cases, because if you don't do that, they kill you, they dive the tower, and then they kill your carry as well because he's low.
He's getting very low here, getting a lot of quill stacks on Massa. Another scatter blast will come out mid one. Can he get the kill? He does. The bristleback proc coming just in time to clutch it, and Q getting low as well. Roger doesn't have mana for another Thunderstrike, so he can't get the follow-up kill. Nicely done by SMG.
Yeah, really skilled, this player mid one. He turned his back so well and moved backwards.
Ran away from the enemy.
Yeah, he just ran away. Like you must love bristleback players and this hero in general.
What's he up to? He's going to go buy his Ring of Health now from the enemy shop, so he's going to have that sustain.
Charge mid.
And yeah.
Is this just for the rune? No, it's actually.
To both, maybe. He's going to get the damage, and then looks like he's going to back off and go for the rune. He has got 10 stick charges on Afu from the lane. Or the Shadow Poison being spammed, I got to imagine. Something interesting SMG's been doing is this offlane Weaver. What do you make of Weaver in the core role?
I actually like it quite a lot. I don't mind. He might even die here, actually. There's a charge coming through, though.
That charge may just save his life. 5 poison stacks, though, and Jackie doesn't have a stun for a little while here. Raging Potato's waiting for another Shikuchi, but the poison stacks are too much.
I said I liked it, and I also, you know what else I like? I like feeding, so it's exactly how I play the offlane Weaver. Same exact thing. No, I mean, it depends, right? Like, you're playing this Spirit Breaker Weaver combination on the offlane. Maybe they could have planted the position 3 Spirit Breaker as well. Top lane?
Yeah, bit of a dive in. Roger gonna glimpse him away, but he still goes down.
It's like you decide what's better for the lane on you, right? Like, Weaver probably shouldn't die. He gets caught there by the sentry and disruption mid lane.
Charge mid, yep. They start off with the shackle. Charge comes in, the LSA not there this time, but he does get it after the charge, and he may turn this one around with a disruption from Boombell, who's TP'd in. Moon shouldn't be going down here. In fact, he's going to look to turn and fight, but he's going to be careful. These poison sacks will add up if not careful, but...
Yeah.
Alright.
Roger dying top, instantly TPing mid, refilling the bottle, as you should on a support. Just proper plays from both of these teams. Shadow Demon rotation mid lane, preventing the gank from happening. Like crisp gameplay from both teams so far.
Nicely done by Disruptor. Denying the rune from the Lina, glimpses her away, then denies it. Meanwhile, Moon getting the bottle refill with the bottom water rune.
Bottom lane?
Yeah, this Breaker's low. Skeleton's gonna fully chase him away back to his tower.
We get a kill.
And under the tower, yeah, Jackie goes down. Raging Potato, the core Weaver you mentioned, has its strengths. But Q's rotating with a Scatter Blast, and Weaver may be dying here. He came out of Shikuchi, right?
He came out of yeah, exactly. Like, okay. He did some. I think he earned himself for something, or used this. He definitely did something to stop Sakuchi there. Yeah. Like, either an urn or a stick, because he was fine. He could get away.
Yeah, must have been the stick, because he popped the urn after he came out to try and heal himself.
Yeah. Probably one of those things where, yeah, you just mess up. It happens. You're clicking too fast. Once in 100 games, you make a mistake.
APM is too high, is what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. But he's going to get farm on this Weaver. You'll have this vessel very fast. We'll see what he decides to go for. I don't think that it needs to differ a lot from a position 4 Weaver. Like, you just go for the same stuff. Maybe a Falcon Blade or Raindrop that he already has earlier, and that's it.
The mid one finishes Vanguard in the safe lane. He is free farming away. Even gets a courier along the way. But Bristle, Centaur, both of them going Vanguard. I don't imagine we'll see many kills up here unless there's like a ton of rotations.
Yeah, these two boys, like you don't even have... I look at the map more than I look at the game itself, right? Like 90% of the time. And when you see Centaur and Bristle on a lane, you're like, okay, I'm not even gonna go there.
They're just gonna have a truce where it's like, okay, let's not bother harassing each other. We'll just have like a farming truce. Nice charge bottom. They want to deny this rune away from the Lina, and Lina getting completely swarmed. Gets the kill onto Moon before maybe going down. One more hit from Apu will finish off the kill. As it was the Boombell Shadow Demon who ended up grabbing the rune. Not that it impacted too much, but a 2-for-1 trade in Motivate.Trust favor. Both teams just prioritizing these rotations mid around these runes.
And because of Spirit Breaker, right? Like if you aren't playing around mid lane when there's a Spirit Breaker in the game, and that same Spirit Breaker doesn't have to babysit his off lane, your mid lane will feed. So well played by both of these teams. Like I like how SMG is controlling the runes. At the same time, I like how Motivate.Trust is protecting their mid laner. Yeah, Lina did die, but only after she took down Wind Ranger. So that's, in general, a net win for the Lina.
And it feels like there's been 3 or 4 charges mid where they're trying to kill this Lina, and that's the first time they've managed to finally kill Gacha Boy. So it's given them quite a bit of time and effort to do so, but it seems like, yeah, constant focus on the mid lane. This top lane doesn't need any help unless they want to go for a kill or aggressive play of some kind. And it seems like maybe that is the call, as SMG rotating both supports up top. Can they bring down Massa?
They have damage, but he's also a tanky boy.
Yeah. He's got the Stampede as well, if needed. Glimpse is being held by Roger, and Massa perhaps knowing that he can't really TP out of this one. He's holding onto the Stampede. Are they going to be able to bring him down? Now the Glimpse comes. And he's going to try Stampede. Actually still goes down after the Stampede, as the rest of the Motivate.Trust team have rotated in. Counter kills. What can they find here? Roger on the Disruptor in all sorts of trouble will go down, as mid one's coming back in with a lot of quill stacks. Boombell's got to be careful here. Apu doesn't have a charge as it's already been used, and Boombell being chased by mid one. Should be able to get this kill with enough quill spam if he's careful not to get too many poison stacks on him.
Yeah, it's one hero. It's one hero that's safe from any ganks, and that can join and help his supports on that position 1 Bristleback. Right, the moment you have that Vanguard, you're just not worried. One of the reasons why Centaur died. Masaros played that perfectly. Massa, like he couldn't stampede early because of the glimpse, but he also couldn't survive because he had too many quill sprays on him. So the moment he pops the stampede, he already has like 7-8 down. He dies in one shot.
Yep.
Jackie
shot down bottom. Yeah, they want to bring down Jackie. He has got the reincarnation, so can they kill him a second time? The charge comes as he's reincarnating, so they haven't got the charge stun. And there's Gacha Boy TPing on down here. He's hit the Light Striker right onto Wind Ranger. Winrun going to keep him alive for now. He's still got an Illusion Rune as well, and they've done a good job locking down Jackie. Hits the power shot to get him low. Doesn't have an armlet completed yet, and as a result, it looks like he is going to end up going down. But Raging Potato, nice time-lapse, dodges some damage coming out from Gacha Boy, and they brought down Wraith King. Raging Potato needs to be a little bit careful here. Very low, only has the 1 Urn Charge as they get the Disruption and LSA combo. Apu just going to try charge his way out of there, and he's out. Well done by SMG to get the kill on the Wraith King.
Yeah, the good old Spirit Breaker things. Just getting away, and yeah, they get two kills on the Wraith King, right? They kill his... Well, he has the ulti.
Speed down bottom, they want Moon. I think Moon accepts his fate here. He's trying to bring down the Snapfire with him, but he may just get Apu killed. As a full Motivate.Trust rotation down bottom. 3 poison stacks will be enough to bring down Apu. End his killing streak.
They need to be just a little bit faster when it comes to disengaging. That's something that I noticed. When they make a play, they stick around a little bit too long. Wraith King has just enough time to even respawn and come back and get counter kills. So a good thing turned kinda badly for them. At the same time, you lost mid tower to creeps. Like,
Ado. Oh, nice cookie stun. And they've got 3 poison stacks. But Boombell out of mana means he can't get any more. The power shot. Boombell gets him low, and Raging Potato just going to time-lapse to heal on up.
he's going in. He's going for more.
Oh, yeah. You're right. This Weaver is just making the support life miserable. He's just killed both supports more or less by himself.
Yeah, Weaver is extremely strong, in my opinion, at the moment. This hero is legit when you're playing versus supports that can't really deal with you. Shadow Demon and Snapfire are not the best. Like, they don't have reliable disables or way. Like, they do Disruption, Cookie, but it's not really the greatest. He's still going to catch up to you. And you can't get away. And he's also not going for the standard build that I've seen recently, and that's maxing out the Swarm and Geminate attack you leave on just one level. Because the bugs just... they're so difficult to deal with.
Just having the one... I mean, even the 1 point in bugs, yeah, you still need the full hits in one of those spells. I've seen a lot of people talk about Weaver, and like, man, that Swarm...
it just kills you, right? Like, they use Swarm on you and the Vessel, and there's just so much damage coming from those two spells that you just die to the bugs. Like, it's very, very difficult.
You like that he's going into, like, now transitioning into like a semi-carry build. Look like he's going for a Maelstrom as well as the Wind Ranger.
It's kind of the hero, and the itemization on the hero is definitely a difficult thing to decide on what's the best when you're playing it as a 3, right?
Like,
Maelstrom will allow you to farm and dish out some right-click damage. At the same time, do you truly need to do that? You have a Bristleback and a Wind Ranger. More likely is that you need some more utility for your team. But still, like, I've been in the same situation. I know exactly how he feels. He's like, yeah, I'm having such a good game. If I go for this, maybe I'll just be able to completely dominate. I get the BKB Maelstrom. I kill supports on my own. I see it. And it will work as long as he doesn't feed right now. If it goes well for him in the mid game, it will be great.
Charge on in, they get off the Demonic Purge, but instead he's going to go for the Nether Strike and try and bring down Boombah, but the Stampede looking to cover the retreat here. Can Masaros catch anyone in Zafu, who gets hit by the Hoof Stomp? Looks like he should be going down with the Poison Stacks. The Mortimer's Kisses flying in as well. They'll trade supports for now.
Lena is being chased, but yeah, he's fine.
Back boys in the front lines. Who needs to be a little bit careful here, but on the back line, just Raging Potato zoning away the rest of Motivate.Trust, and Daki's got 3 heroes on him. This Wraith King has got Reincarnation, but it looks like he's potentially going to be forced to at least commit the ultimate. Nope, they're not going to, I think, recognizing that they don't want to dive a tier 2 tower, they're just going to back off, and SMG playing very aggressively, but there's just a meat shield in the front of them. First the Wraith King, and now the Centaur.
Yeah, there's
discipline.
There was a glimpse available, and now
Weaver throws away his life. You mentioned he can't afford to just go in and feed. The Wind Ranger will get the last attack to finish off the Snapfire as the charge coming in from Afu, the shackle onto the Wraith King, but he has got Reincarnation here. Static Storm going to be awaiting him on the respawn, but I don't think they want to follow this one up. He's too close to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, this series and this game is just so much scrappier than the last one. The team fights, maybe it's because of the heroes as well. Like, you have this Wraith King on one side, Bristle on the other, Centaur. They're just so tanky, and you kind of want to push it to the limit. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's the way it is at the moment.
Yep. The one thing you mentioned, like with the Weaver's build, is like, you know, with Maelstrom BKB, it feels like he needs that BKB. Like with this Maelstrom, like there's so many stuns that he can't just run in and right-click people.
Yeah, like if he gets disrupted into an LSA, that could happen right now on the bottom lane, right? One of those things could just kill him instantly. You do have that vitality booster from the Vessel, but it's just not enough. So, yeah, and you're taking a lot of space. That's another problem. You're playing. If you are building into this Maelstrom, you necessarily are like what he's doing right now. He's at the Ancients. He's not really looking to make a play. He's stacking the Ancients and farming away.
Stacking them for his team, though, it looks like.
Hopefully.
He stacked them. He's not farming them yet, so maybe, maybe it's for the team.
It looks that way, yeah. He's stacking for probably Bristle.
They scan the Roshan, but it may be too late. It's already very, very low, and it looks like SMG may have snuck one by Motivate.Trust. This Bristleback is just so strong right now with the Aghanim Scepter, and now gets an Aegis as well to go with it. Charge coming on through. Massa gets clipped by this one. Have they got the damage to bring him down? They drop the Static Storm on top of him as well, but the Mortimer's Kisses counterplay may be too much. for SMG if they're not careful here. Apu goes down to the Laguna Blade, but they do kill the Centaur. In the process, now mid one just charging forward with this Aghanim Scepter. Yep, Lina being pulled back in. Means they get a big kill. Gotcha boy, fearless, going down.
I have to say, I was a bit critical on the Weaver. At the same time, when you think about the whole composition, you do have a Spirit Breaker that will go in. You do have Bristleback that will kind of serve that front-lining utility, even though that's not necessarily maybe the whole of their job, right? But still, they will give you that, so you will be able to dish out the damage with the Weaver, which is quite alright. And another hero that likes that a lot is Disruptor, right? We could see it in that last fight. As long as you're the ones making the offense, as long as you're the ones chasing, that glimpse is so good.
Oh yeah, and a hero like Lina, unless you're playing with BKB, Disruptor can be very hard to play into. Top lane, Jackie is alone, and they're holding the glimpse knowing he cannot TP out, and he doesn't have reincarnation. Even if he did, they may just kill him twice here, but no rotations coming. Motivate.Trust just leaving them to the wolves.
Oh, yeah, and not necessarily the best position to be in. As the Radiant carry, to be farming in and showing yourself. I mean, he was visible on the maps. I'm not exactly sure what he was thinking, because if you look at his teammates, they're giving a ton of information on where the enemy team isn't. So you should anticipate that.
Now they know where the enemy is because they're charging Gacha Boy all the way from top. Spirit Breaker's coming in, the Disruptor TP, and Gacha Boy has just got no way out. He gets the Stampede, but there's a Glimpse if they need it. They're not even going to have to use Glimpse. Disruptor was holding it the entire time in case he did go for some kind of TP out or Stampede away.
Meanwhile, Weaver, with that Maelstrom, he's actually hunting already. Together with mid one,
yep.
They're going in.
Walking mid one, the no boots Weaver. Gotta get out of the way. Bristleback coming through. He wants the Shadow Demon. There's a charge elsewhere on the Masteros, but first they're gonna look to bring down the supports. He does manage to Tumbler Toy his way to the high ground, buy himself some time, but it's to the north in the river where Afu, biting off a bit more than he can chew, but with a Shadow Amulet, just using that to hide and juke his way through some trees here. They want Jackie again. He doesn't have a TP. He TP'd up here. Luckily, it seems for him, SMG don't realize where he is.
Well, mid one. Yeah, he's...
Oh, they walk into each other. That's ultimate, and with the T1 tower there, mid one may just dive this because of the Aegis.
Yeah, they're gonna charge him now. They're going for this for sure.
Charge. Okay, it's gonna come in after the disruption. So yeah, they connect with the charge. Then the reincarnation's gonna proc here. And with the swarm bugs, they're just gonna look to chase Jackie down. Mid one can use his Aegis just to dive these towers. They need something to stop the charging Bristleback, but mid one, he's just unstoppable. He's an unstoppable charging cow who's just gonna shred apart Motivate.Trust, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Oh, they have two. They have Spirit Breaker as well that's charging in together. They did lose Disruptor around the triangle, around the bottom lane, that it was getting warded up and he just died there, but it's a small price to pay for all the kills that you're getting. And Lina...
Oh, they're not done. They got the charge though. Lina thought she could use this Shadow Blade, but they're ready for Gacha Boy. Kill after kill after. The second he sees a hero on the map, he's just click and charge. Doesn't matter where they are, he'll charge across the whole damn map and his team will TP in.
Yeah, it was... I'm not sure how he spotted the Lina. Was it the creeps? Probably the creeps, because this observer was just planted, so... yeah, you have to be extremely careful about how you show yourself and where you show yourself on the map. Because Spirit Breaker... you saw this build, right? With Phases, Windlace, and Shadow Blade. Like, he takes 1 second from one part of the map to the other. He will catch you.
Everywhere. And Centaur does a good job getting in the enemy Ancients and cutting some waves, but it's always so dangerous to try and cut any waves. Motivate.Trust being forced to almost play together because of the Spirit Breaker factor. Good news is they maybe have an opening now with this Aegis expiring. This is the time where making a play makes the most sense for them, and they are smoked up hunting, trying to sweep through that jungle and ideally find this Bristleback.
With the smoke, are they actually able to do a lot? Like, yeah, you want to get the kill, but can you? Even if you find the Bristleback, I feel like it will be extremely difficult to take him down.
They scan their triangle. So they know somebody was up near their ancients, but now a fight seems to be coming around this mid lane.
Okay, they have some things now. The Blink Dagger on Shadow Demon and the Desolator on Raid King might help them out in fights. Because you can reset. It's easy for Shadow Demon to either catch someone or to blink in and help a teammate. So, that's nice. I would really like to see BKB into Aghanims on Weaver, because, yeah, you dish out the damage.
He needs to TP soon. Charge coming his way. He's going to see it on the Observer ward. He hasn't TP'd, though. Oh, no. And he hasn't got Reincarnation. I'm surprised he didn't see it coming his way with the Observer ward, but he's just going to go down.
Do you think he'd manage to TP after you see the Spirit Breaker on that
Around
ward?
that ward? Yeah.
Yeah, because remember that Spirit Breaker will speed up with Phase Boots and Bulldoze in that last few seconds.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It would have been too late once he sees him on the ward, even though it looks far away.
Yeah, I think most likely you don't get out there, so... So far, he's been very...
I guess he saw Afu, but even if you get Afu there, it doesn't seem like the biggest kill.
Even if you kill him.
SMG. Yeah, they're going to push to bottom tier 2. They're all keeping in. Motivate.Trust feel like this is the time to fight. Can they kill the Bristleback? This is going to be put to the test. They go with the Mormon's Kiss. The Static Storm is there. Mid one getting brought down low. Is the damage enough? Just barely. The charge from the Spirit Breaker coming a little bit too late. That's the hero they needed to save mid one. And now with the Sapphire Cookies, they're going to stun up Afu as well. But on the backline, there's Raging Potato. He's doing some good damage here. One of the supports, Boombell, he's got no out. And another charge coming through, getting 3 here as Moon's BKB on the win range. With a regen rune, he's healing back up. He's got power shots from the trees if he wants to use them. Afu in the front lines with a Shadow Blade as well. They catch Jackie, and he's in all sorts of trouble. Luckily has a reincarnation, but the supports in the backlines are being hunted, and Gacha Boy on the Lina, he's been scouted out by the dust, and he's going to go down to the Weaver right clicks. Raging Potato just eating them up alive. The Masaros return with the buyback, may kill off Afu, but even that won't be enough. He charges his way out of there, stuns up Masa. He's just toying with him, playing with his food, and Masa is going to go down, and Motivate.Trust gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah. Those were some extremely clutch plays from SMG. Like, clutching it out left, right, and center. Yeah, they do lose the Bristleback early on. But you don't care when you have an additional 3 cores, I would say, even. Like, the Spirit Breaker feels like a core, the Weaver is a core, and Wind Ranger as well, just clutching it out with what you call BKB, Wind Run, and the Regen Rune. Lina used everything she could on Moon and still didn't take him down.
That sounds like invulnerability with, like, perma healing there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you have to deal with the Weaver as well, who has ulti, right? You just can't kill anything.
They're on the high ground. They want to take this Rax here. Aegis or no Aegis, they feel like this is the timing to go for it. Melee Rax getting low. They'll take it out now, so SMG can feel like they've got what they came for. But they want more with Centaur still dead. Raging Potato wants to go diving in on the backlines, wants to catch some of these supports, and Boombell absolutely melts. As Afu's charge comes flying in, he nether strikes into the fountain. A bit over-aggressive from SMG. Not sure Afu realized he would end up in the fountain with that nether strike.
I don't understand what you mean, over-aggressive. That's how you play Spirit Breaker.
There's aggressive and over-aggressive, and both are fine.
Exactly, there's just forward. Like, there's something about canceling that charge and going backwards with Spirit Breakers. It's just, once you start playing that hero a lot, like, there's no back. Like, you can't.
He hit the charge, and then he's like, let's go even further and pop the ultimate. My teammate, surely we can kill this Lina, right?
And it was so obvious that he's gonna end up in the fountain with the ulti. Like, it's like, he knows that he will die, but it doesn't matter.
He's sending a message.
Exactly.
Lina, the Shadow, maybe regretting not going for a BKB before the Shadow Blade, I feel like, at this point. And the rest of Motivate.Trust in some trouble, being chased back to their base. Q does... Well, they turn. They actually get the stun on the Weaver. Uh-oh.
Yep. I think they're maybe feeling themselves a little bit too much now on the side of SMG.
The calm down, let's stop throwing kind of moment. I'm sure the team calms after the last couple deaths was, you know, let's wait for Roshan, play smart.
Spirit Breakers, that okay, you can take that, but now we were dying as well. It's yeah, it's not really disciplined. You can't throw the game if a few of those moments happen.
Mid one cannot afford to die here. I feel like the charge coming in going to catch the Shadow Demon. Started off on mid one. Can they burst him down? The Mortimer's Kisses with Laguna Blade, and mid one's dead as well. Moon's going to look to try come in and save the day. He's kind of on his own. He's looking to bring down Gato Boy, but the LS8 timed perfectly as the charge will finish off the Lina. So good job by Moon and Arthur to kind of salvage a terrible fight for SMG. Back to back
Can they catch
fights or
Spirit Breaker?
pickoffs where you're not too happy with it, as yeah, they want Spirit Breaker, but they're looking to turn and fight. They've got a regen rune on the Wind Ranger, and with Raging Potato showing up, he's still got a BKB, but they've lost Spirit Breaker, and SMG just seems to be going in a bit one by one. Jackie's got Reincarnation here. They're trying to kill him, but he's going to have that second life if needed. Astaros may be the better target, and yeah, they'll take out the Centaur instead, so it ends up okay for SMG.
Definitely a better target for them to finish off the Centaur. Also, you can see that both of these teams, like we talked about them being scrappy a little bit when it comes to teamfights early on, right? Because of the heroes that they have. Like on one side Centaur, on the other Bristleback, Wraith King, whatnot. But they're truly not that disciplined in teamfights, and you can see it here. After getting a couple of really good kills on the side of like Motivate.Trust, they got a couple of really good kills, and then they continued even further, and then they fed the Centaur for pretty much no reason. It's very unlikely that you get an additional kill until Weaver respawns. And the way SMG is playing, trying to fight without the Spirit Breaker, Weaver dying on the high ground. Maybe just, you know, you've been charging enough. Chill out a little bit. Use some other things, you know, like some more discipline perhaps.
Yeah, a game defined so far by the aggression of both teams. 30 kills to 22, almost 2 kills a minute.
Definitely
SMG
makes
will take Rush.
Definitely makes for a fun game.
Oh yeah. Alright, just no backlash. I was about to say, surely he's not going for that. Alfu getting the memo that, you know, we're gonna play it safe, or at least safer.
Yeah, he's also queuing up the Aghanims. Pretty nice.
Yep.
Who took the shard, by the way? Was it the Bristle? No?
Weaver had one queued up.
Weaver.
I don't know if Weaver bought it or got that Roche one. It looks like... I think Wind Ranger took it, because I think Weaver bought his own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very likely. Such a nice shard to have on Weaver as well when you're playing versus any invis like Shadow Blades, Glimmer Capes, whatever. And, by the way, this quiver, like Enchanted Quiver on Weaver, just feels so good. When you get level 25, I know we're not getting there, but if it happens, I actually keep Enchanted Quiver in the inventory. If you get, even though it's like minute 50 or whatnot, doesn't matter. Enchanted Quiver plus the 1 Gemnet attack, and if you have a crit or something, you can kill a support from a mile away. I know we're not getting there, but still, it's a
He's
fun
level
thing to
19.
look forward to.
Yeah, it's not... If this game goes to 40, I feel like 40 minutes he might be there, depending on how some of these
it's not
fights go.
impossible, yeah.
And Motivate.Trust now have some of these items to kind of stall this game out a bit, or at least to take some better fights. With the BKB on Lina and Wraith King close to his BKB, pushing high ground is not going to necessarily be the easiest thing for SMG. Particularly if Shadow Demon gets up to an Aghanim Center. That feels like an item...
Lina, top lane.
They were ready for this. They had the charge in. There's no TP now. There's
have a
just
dust, they do, right?
sadness. And
They
the
don't
Swarm
even need
bugs.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need the dust because of the swarm, even if they
Oh, they have
don't
a
have
gem
it.
even.
Yeah, that's true. I
They're
mean,
well
how can
equipped.
you be hitting the tower for so long on the top lane?
Oh, mid lane they've gone in. Moon! What a shackle into focus fire. Deletes Masaros. The damage just overwhelming the Centaur with a Desolator and Maelstrom.
Yeah, and the Bristleback was there to get some extra minus armor and damage in. Just I'm surprised they're not taking the high ground with Wind Ranger as well. There was a double damage in the river, so it goes picks it up. Yeah.
Centaur wishing it was like 2012 where, you know, you can't stack Deso and Maelstrom. What is this? Those items aren't meant to stack. But pushing for him, he just melts. Moon jumping in again, forcing out a defensive disruption, and Boombell does get the blink away. They may just go for the base. Jam, Jack boys, that's a Wraith King, and he's looking like a squishy support there. As they look to kill him a second time, trapped in the kinetic field static storm, and he just gets instantly deleted. They do take out the Aegis on mid one's Bristleback. Can they kill him a second time? Motivate.Trust is trying to fight from their fountain. It feels like that's the safest place for them to be, but there's a shackle. It's caught Lina, and with the double damage, Moon is just doing too much damage. Dieback on the Wraith King, Centaur dead as well, and they can go for the tier 4 towers and throw now, or they can just let Motivate.Trust GG out.
An interesting game, I have to say. Like, the last series that we witnessed was kind of disciplined. It was professional Dota. It's what you expect from a DPC, right? The upper division. This game, it's like they have something personal against each other. Like it's like a brawl fest. It's like a pub. There's absolutely no true strategy behind what they're doing. They're just running at each other, disregarding the Spirit Breaker charges and whatnot. Just constant brawling. Diving the fountains very early on. It's a
It's crazy because seeing mid one's face at the end of the game, he was just like, yeah, he looked very calm. Like, that was a crazy game of Dota in so many ways. I think Arfu had fun just charging everyone all across the map. And I mean, SMG, you get the win. They're always going to be happy with that. But it is a best of 3. So we're going to see if Motivate.Trust can tweak things, because this is a potentially important series. 2 teams that have had a very good start to the SEA DPC Division 1, and 2 teams that would love to qualify for the first major, even if it's just in that like 3rd wildcard slot. So we're going to see if Motivate.Trust can force that ever elusive game 3, or if SMG can 2-0 it. After a quick break, we'll be back with the panel.